James Romans built the Lulabelle tank 25 years ago. It's made primarily out of wood and weighs about 1,500 pounds. It may not look like much now, but soon this vacant parking lot is going to become Lansing's new public safety complex. Black Friday may not look like it did decades ago, and that's because of the rising popularity of online shopping. And behind me, you're looking at the most recent photo of Rashad Trice, taken during his arraignment. This isn't Trice's first time facing felony charges. News 10's Amaya Kuznicki is live outside the GM Delta Township Assembly plant with how workers are reacting to this news. Amaya, what can you tell us? Yeah, good morning, Taylor. As you can see behind me right now, even though that tentative deal was met, workers are still out here holding their signs at the picket, going strong. Seth, Maureen, about 2 hours ago, police were still actively searching outside of Berkey Hall. And as you can see behind me, this is just some of the storm damage from that tornado that passed through here on Friday. This is City Hall, and it's just one of the many buildings that is damaged. Good morning, Kellen. You know, like I said, we are driving along with the Ingham County Sheriff right now and the Superintendent of Hope Public Schools. And right now, you know, as the sun starts to rise, more kids are out, people are headed to work. So, Sheriff, what do you want drivers to kind of look out for today when driving around these school buses?
On this street, Walker.
One by one, names were read and honored.
Just the sheer number of names is mind-boggling.
Each bell representing a child who lost their life to gun violence.
We chime a bell and solemnly remember each of those young, precious children.
Members from Spirit of Peace Church of the Brethren lined in front of the state capitol, advocating for change.
It's just heartbreaking. It's unconscionable. I have a new great-granddaughter, and as I hold her, she's 1 month, and as I hold her in my arms, I cannot even imagine her body experiencing the violence that these young children have felt.
Beverly Leaf says the tragedy on Michigan State University's campus in February, which left 3 students dead and 5 others injured, pushed the group to take action.
Today is about the kids.
Back in May, Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed a series of red flag and safe storage laws to keep guns away from those at risk of harming themselves or others, a decision that doesn't sit well with some defenders of the Second Amendment.
In the last 2-3 years, our rights have been shredded.
People fighting for Second Amendment rights have also been rallying at the Capitol. They believe these laws go against a person's constitutional right to defend themselves.
There's no evidence that having less guns has ever made anyone safer.
And we're not talking about taking away people's Second Amendment rights here. We need to legislate the safety of guns.
A debate over how to keep children safe that continues at Michigan's Capitol and in communities around the state.
News 10's Amaya Kuznicki was at this morning's meeting and spoke to survivors who say they just want closure.
Survivors have been fighting for these documents for quite some time, and they all say the process has been exhausting, and they're just ready to move on with their lives.
This is taxing on our being, so yeah, it is a lot to take on.
It's pretty difficult. I took a big step back, and then when this came about, I decided to come back and fight to try to get what we deserve.
Nasser pleaded guilty in 2018 to 10 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct. He was a sports medicine doctor at MSU for over 2 decades, who's now serving 40 to 175 years in prison for sexually abusing student and Olympic athletes under his care. Abuse survivors want 6,000 documents released.
They do hear us, then why are they not doing what we're asking? Or why are they not taking the steps to help us heal?
Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel also requested to get the documents from the university as part of a state investigation, but her request was denied. MSU citing attorney-client privilege. MSU Board of Trustees Chairperson Rima Vassar says hearing the survivors' stories is heartbreaking, but she said nothing further on whether the documents will be released.
I'm doing my best. I hear you, and I'm doing my best. You came with trembling voices, sometimes knocking knees, sometimes sweat, right? You came with a trembling voice to let us know what we needed to know from you.
It seemed like she had some emotions going there too, but then what?
Survivors were hoping the Board of Trustees would hold a public vote on whether or not the document should be released, but a vote did not happen in today's meeting.
It's just been everywhere. Everybody's like, you're the new I-75 cowboy, you're new Yellowstone of Michigan.
Ricky Littlejohn and his fiancee Trinidad rescued a runaway cow named Lester in the middle of a busy interstate near Detroit.
I've never ran full speed on a horse at the side of a very busy highway, so it was actually terrifying.
This is not Littlejohn's first rodeo with Lester. He also caught him around 7 weeks ago after he escaped for the first time.
The last thing you want to do is anybody to hit the thing or, get hurt.
A week later, Lester the cow escaped again and was 13 miles away from home. The owners knew they could trust Littlejohn and his business, RJL Horse Catching, to wrangle Lester once again.
Catching a cow in an arena is way different than catching a cow on the highway.
RJL has been around for 8 years, and one thing they didn't expect was to become a viral sensation.
You go catch cows all the time, and you might get a few Facebook likes or comments or stuff, and it's turned into thousands and thousands. Just humble country people,
To Littlejohn, his horses are family.
Because we can't do our jobs without them. You just can't.
Without the help of his horses and dogs, Lester the cow wouldn't be back at home where he belongs. You can't see it now, but behind these trees, there's a house that's truly out of this world.
Oh my gosh, it looks like a flying saucer landed on top of a hill.
The previous owner, Robert Clark,
this is him right here. I recognize him.
Built the home in 1994 and lived there until he passed last December.
He put a lot of time into that property.
Clark made lasting friendships in the neighborhood. One of them was with Gary Folkringa.
Bob and I were in contact with each other year-round.
The house isn't just eye-catching from the outside. Inside, there are twists and turns everywhere you look.
The mathematics involved in creating those curves, Bob had to be very educated.
It's unlike any other home real estate agent Stacy Narrows has been asked to sell.
I was warned that it was a very unique residence, but I was very surprised to see what I saw.
After the house went on the market, it was booked with back-to-back showings.
I really am hoping somebody will buy that property and see what a jewel they have there.
A jewel that's tucked away, awaiting its new owner. In vending machines, you're used to seeing chips and candy, but this one dispenses hair products.
Present your card or your mobile phone.
The Beauty Genie made its way to the University of Olivet in August. It's the first of its kind in the rural town college campus.
Having this here makes people feel comfortable.
All of the hair care products that you would need are just a tap away.
Hair wraps, bonnets, do-rags.
Brian Kelly is the brand's ambassador and also a senior at the university. She says with the school being predominantly white, there aren't beauty supply stores nearby.
Before I had this, whenever I went home, I was stocking up on hair products.
Which isn't always ideal, especially when students are without transportation.
It's like a weight has been lifted off of our shoulders for people that can't drive. It's like we finally have something nearby.
The machine is a compact beauty store.
It's important to have a machine like the Beauty Genie to remind students that we see them, we hear them, and we support them.
Associate Dean of Student Life Joshua Gillespie hopes the machine helps students feel at home.
Hair matters. And so this is just one way to say to a student, you matter.
I'd just say you definitely have to go try it out. And it doesn't hurt to try a different product on your hair, see what might happen.
I've always been a part of things that belong to other people, where this is me.
Kelly says this is just the start. She hopes to expand to other college campuses in the future. In Olivet, Amaya Kuznicki, News 10.